Hey, good Sunday morning, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives. So we finally hit a point now where Donald Trump has to be talked about. Don't really want to talk about him, but kind of got to talk about him. And it makes sense this time to talk about Donald Trump because pretty much all the cards are on the table. We've already realized, let's be fair, all of us have realized for a very, very long time that Donald Trump was a plant. All of us realized for an incredibly long time that the entire Democratic strategy, because they knew they had the worst candidate in the history of mankind, was to create someone so deplorable, so ridiculous, so foul, so unbelievably bad, that they would toss this guy up there, escalate, elevate, and they knew all along that they had these bombs in their back pocket. And they knew that once something bad was released about Hillary, that they could in turn release these horrible bombs about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been a nothing burger forever. Anybody with like the slightest bit of intelligence has known Donald Trump as nothing. He has not been something worth talking about. But I do want to talk about something. I have daughters. Many of you guys have daughters too. Many of you are daughters. Many of you have lived in a very, very patriarchal society, the good old boys club, where you go to work and men are staring down at your tits instead of looking you in the eye. Many of them are watching around the corner instead of paying attention to your skill set. Many of them take you for granted and wish you were stuck in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. And you've experienced the Donald Trump syndrome for a long time. And Donald Trump is not all that remarkable because in reality, what Donald Trump represents is the wealthy, the people that can get away with anything they want. They can say anything they want. They can do anything they want because that's the way the wealthy are. They have access and entree to do whatever they want. And why is this important? If you really thought Hillary was the lesser of two evils in this situation, think again. Hillary stood by her man, Brother Bill, who is every bit the slob and sleaze that Donald Trump is. Every bit the slob and sleaze that Donald Trump is. And yet we've given her a pass on that. We've given him a pass on that. And this is not one of these false equivalences. This is a pattern. This is a societal problem. This is rape culture. This is what we are facing as a nation. So I refuse to talk about Donald Trump per se as a presidential candidate because it was a farce. He was put there to make the worst candidate in U.S. history, Hillary Clinton, look remarkably competent. And I'm just too smart for that, folks. I refuse to play into that paradigm. Pisses some people off? I don't care. I'm too smart for that. I'm not going to dumb myself down so you get a good case of the feels. It's not going to happen that way. You come here, you don't come here so I can make you feel good. You come here because you know I'm going to drop the elbow of truth. And I'm not going to stop that. But there is some serious stuff going on here. I have two beautiful daughters. I have three beautiful daughters. I have four beautiful daughters, but two in particular that are of college age that go to a major university down in the South. And they are, when I say beautiful, I'm talking about stunningly beautiful. Models even. And when I think about their self-worth being wrapped up in grab them by their... And I think about the things that were said, I think to myself, I don't want my daughters going through a life. I don't want them stuck in a world where that is acceptable. And yet, we see the worthless, freaking worthless, the worthless of all worthless Democrats supporting Bill Clinton, who has done exactly the same thing. Flying on planes with just disgusting entitled people who treat women like a piece of shit. These same people are bipartisan, folks. They don't have a party allegiance. They have a bourgeois. They are rich and they do what they want in their own stratospheric set of rules. This is why we have avoided talking 1,000% about Donald Trump up until this point, because we got problems in our own backyard. And you want us to ignore them so that we can beat the Donald Trump piñata. And I don't do it. I don't do it. I'm smarter than you, and I admit it. I come right out and say it. I don't even hide from it. I am frickin' smarter, and I'm not going to do it. And I want the people that follow us to be smarter and not frickin' do it. It's shameful. It's embarrassment. It is worthless. It's vapid, vacuous, and all the words that you're used to me using. It's beneath a progressive to fake like they care about a Donald Trump presidency and talk about Nazism and all the other insanity when he was a prop all along. And now the WikiLeaks has shown that he was a prop all along. 2 months before he even declared, they were already planning on elevating his ridiculousness because they knew they could knock him down. That's why the media propped him up. The conspiracy is not a conspiracy. It's the deal, folks. It is the deal. And you're a misogynist. Blah, 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 and all this other stuff. If you don't beat up on Donald Trump, well, the fact is that what you need to do is beat up on rape culture and then judge the candidates on their merits. The merits of their positions, the merits of who they are as a person. And to be honest with you, I don't want either of these two fools, but I never worried about Donald Trump. I knew he didn't stand a chance in hell. And now, even the most ridiculous of GOP people has pulled their support for him. So now you've got, in essence, a one-person race for the presidency. And Hillary will skate through there if we don't fight. Why isn't Jill Stein on the stage now that Donald Trump is a frickin' fiasco? Why are there still people out there? Look at Robert De Niro embarrassing himself, doing this big, long, I'd like to punch him in the face. I mean, do you think you get brownie points for saying the blinding flash of the obvious? Do you think that somehow or another that scores points? No. What you've got is a situation where every daughter in America, every woman in America should be gripping that this kind of stuff is in any way, shape, or form placated or in any way, shape, or form protected. Not just with Donald Trump, but Hillary Clinton. The idea that you give Bill Clinton a pass for all this womanizing, all this destructive, sickening, Bill Cosby-esque nonsense tells me you don't really seriously give a shit about women. Tells me that you don't seriously care about having the first woman president be someone of merit like Dr. Jill Stein. Someone who gets the issues right, someone who leads a life of character, who loves people and planet over profits. We have sat there and watched over the last year a constant barrage, and I really want to lay out all the alternative media, the social media people. I want to lay them out and embarrass and shame every one of them for putting out the Donald Trump stuff and playing a part in it. I really do. I want to go around and do a search to find every one of them that constantly propped Donald Trump up and pushed him up to make this fiasco somehow or another part of our society. Every single one of them is to blame. They have blood on their hands. They're an idiot, a loser, a microphone abuser, worthless, stoop fucks. Done. I'm sick of it. And it is so important that you understand what they have done. They have robbed us of democracy. So my daughters now had to deal with all this nonsense that they've been dealing with anyway, right? Think about it. Rape culture didn't start overnight, and it didn't end overnight, and it's not going to end overnight. It's going to take a concerted effort by all of us to put the knife in the back of rape culture and to end it. To end the womanizing, to end just a wretched way that we view human sexuality. The way that we see them as a piece of meat. Let me tell you something. I've got a lot of women on the Real Progressives team. African American women, white women, Latino women of various ages, from millennial all the way up to, Gen X and boomers. And one of the things that I can tell you right now, thank God none of them were dull enough to hype the Donald Trump stuff. Not one of them. That's a sign of intelligence. That's a sign of leadership. To see through the bullshit and refuse to participate. To refuse to participate in the charade and the lie. It's a sign of intellectual superiority. To avoid playing in the Donald Trump sandbox. To not destroy your country by robbing us of the real choices we deserve. And every one of those people that ran around telling us how horrible Donald Trump was, we already knew it. You didn't tell us anything we didn't know. But you had problems in your own backyard and you ignored them. That makes you complicit in rape culture. It makes you complicit in destroying America, destroying our election process, destroying the integrity of the vote, destroying our confidence in the process. Every one of you that participated in gaslighting and telling us that we were being selfish and privileged for supporting Jill, every one of you have participated in rape culture and provided its fertile grounds to make it explode. Every one of you who sat there and talked about Donald Trump all this time, instead of letting him fall to the ground like he would have. He didn't have any money going out there, folks. It was all free publicity, and most of it from you posting nonsense. Own it. Strap it on. Wear it like the scarlet letter. If you talked about Donald Trump and acted like he was the big bad boogeyman, and you didn't know from Jump Street what he was, and you felt like you needed to keep posting post after post after post after post after post, then the L is for you. L is for loser, that's good enough for you. L is for loser, that's good enough for you. L is for loser, that's good enough for you. Hey, you know what I'm saying? It's that bad. And I have no choice but to call you out for it. Because unless we find a way over the next several weeks to get Jill Stein the kind of attention and notoriety she needs, there are so many efforts afoot to get her what she needs. But yet it's up to you all to break through the Bring Bernie Back crowd. It's up to you all to help us get the last progressive standing up there on the stage. Every WikiLeaks we have seen, when you saw that they were willing to use Sandy Hook against Bernie, and you would support these people? Disgusting. Disgusting. There's no salvation. There is no redemption. There is no quality about you that's worthy of raising as a good thing if you did that, if you supported that. There can be no sanctification. There can be no... The only thing you can do to get out of that one is apologize profusely, publicly, for running the Donald Trump narrative. If you don't apologize publicly and profusely for running the Donald Trump narrative, then you owe America more than just an apology at that point, because you have killed us. Now we are stuck. We are stuck in a way that is going to kill our children. You see the Russian stuff, the wars that are getting ready to brew, the saber rattling that is coming about. If you think that this is all an accident, you're crazy and you played a part in it. And you should be deeply ashamed. I can't sleep for a week kind of ashamed. I don't know if I'll ever be able to sleep again kind of ashamed. That's what frickin' posting Donald Trump did to this. He would have fell to the ground like a friggin' lead balloon. There was nothing about him. He couldn't even put a coherent sentence together. Now, give the man credit. He stood against TPP. That's about it. But my God, he is the Bill Cosby of politics, right? But so is Brother Bill, and he is suddenly going around on his loving tour, hey guys, remember me and my balanced budgets? Bill Clinton gets all the passes in the world, folks. It's time to stop the party loyalty and start calling a spade if you want rape culture to go away. If you protect your own, if you're afraid of calling out crap, if you're afraid to be truthful and honest, then you really need to go back home, look in the mirror, stare into the mirror, and ask what you can do to change. Because right now, that fear is killing our children. A lie. You spread a lie. You made everybody worried. You bought into the MSM when you had the truth in front of you. And now, in spades, you've got the truth. Now is the time. We've got one person running for president. Trump is done. What are you going to do for Jill? There is no chance of Donald Trump beating Hillary now. It's over. So what are you going to do for Jill? Are you going to continue to act like a loser and say, but Donald Trump? Or are you going to fight like hell for the last progressive standing? Or are you going to do some ridiculous bring Bernie back thing when he's only really available in 5 states? Jill is on the ballot in 48 and available for write-in and others. If you don't support the last progressive standing in 2020, we got no shot. Do the right thing, be revolutionary, and stop the bullshit. And yeah, I'm pissed. But what else new, right? I'm always pissed. That's what's happened this election cycle. I've realized how many dumb people are in America. And I realized how scary that is for our futures. I'm 47 years old. It scares the hell out of me what my later years are going to be like with that many dumb people in America. And that much propaganda so easily debunked. And they still bought it. They still shared it. They still ran that thing ragged. And they're still doing it. It's time to shame the Trumpers because he needs to go bye-bye. He just needs to vanish, skedaddle with the cattle prod. Be gone, outie, see ya. Bam! It's Jill's time, and nothing but Jill from here going forward. This is the last you'll hear of Donald Trump from me, unless it's to debunk some lie that somebody's telling. This is my lone Trump thing because Trump said something that will harm my daughters. But it's not just Trump, it's Brother Bill and all the sleazerati that do this stuff. Ladies, get angry. Get freaking angry. Hill Dog isn't your girl. Ladies, step up. Speak out. I'm with you. Solidarity. I am so with you. Solidarity. Do not let rape culture penetrate our White House again. Do not let a rape apologist like Hillary in. It's time for us to take a stand. Support the woman running that has the values that represent progressives. Jill Stein. This is Steve with Real Progressives, hoping you grow a frickin' spine. Vote Jill Stein. Have a great day, everybody.